Welcome back to In Focus Kentucky. On this episode, we're focusing on the bourbon industry's impact on the state of Kentucky. And joining me now is Jill Hawkins of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, an event that attracts over 60,000 people from around the world to Kentucky. Thanks so much for joining us here on In Focus Kentucky, Jill.
Thank you for having me.
And talk to us about this Kentucky Bourbon Festival. What is it, and why is it important to have happen here in the state of Kentucky?
Well, the Kentucky Bourbon Festival has a long history of celebrating the whole bourbon industry. We celebrate not only the distilleries and that beautiful amber liquid, but we celebrate everything that goes into that. We celebrate the people who work on the lines, the people who craft the bourbon, the people that put it in the bottles, the truck drivers that move it around for us, the farmers that grow the grain. We celebrate the whole industry, and it's a great opportunity for everyone to come together in that celebration. We also educate the public on bourbon and points about the bourbon industry. So there's really something for everyone. Bourbon is America's native spirit, and we're very proud to host the celebration of that.
Talk about actually hosting it in Bardstown as well. A lot of people who may be familiar with bourbon or call themselves connoisseurs of bourbon may not be aware of the significance of Bardstown and then why you're having it in this big festival in Bardstown.
Well, Bardstown is the bourbon capital of the world. If you look at the state of Kentucky, certainly we have distilleries all over the place and more popping up every day. But the highest concentration is right around Bardstown. And like I said, the celebration is one we're proud to host. Bardstown was also named the most beautiful small town in America a few years ago. And Bardstown really does it up right. You know, as you said, we welcome 60,000 people from all around the world to that small town, and the residents there go all out. They roll out the red carpet and they showcase that Southern hospitality that we're known for. They welcome in the guests and do everything they can to make sure that everyone has a great time.
And let's talk more about this actual festival. What's new this year, what's happening, and what makes it unique?
Well, we have a variety of events, some ticketed, some are free. Our traditional festival is on the grounds of Spalding Hall, a wonderful historic property in Bardstown. There you'll find distilleries set up with merchandise and information about their products. We have arts and crafts vendors, we have Kentucky Proud vendors, we have food, we have music, and of course we have a few spirits as well. But then around the week, around town, we have several different events, everything from educational events. We've partnered with Moonshine University to present 3 educational seminars. We also have seminars that touch on cocktail mixology, pairing food and bourbon, and then we go to the other extreme. We have a black tie gala, that's our signature event, bourbon, cigars, and jazz out at my old Kentucky home, State Park, a bourbon and cigar pairing. Flights of Bourbon is a little bit different this year. We are going to be hosted by Buffalo Trace and 1792 as they take us through Flights of Bourbon out at Bardstown's airport, Samuels Field.
Wow.
So all kinds of events. We kick off the week on Wednesday with our Kentucky Bourbon All-Star Sampler, where guests have the opportunity to come out and not only sample different bourbons from our Kentucky distilleries, but also interact with our master distillers and our brand ambassadors and really have a great conversation about bourbon, sample it, be with other fans. It's just a wonderful opportunity.
Definitely sounds like a lot of fun and spirited activities going on.
Yes, indeed.
For sure. Now, talk about the economic impact of bringing a festival like this to a small town of Bardstown, and how it impacts the city, but also the Nelson County overall.
Well, certainly, when you bring in 60,000 people, that's a huge influx. We aren't blessed currently with a lot of hotel rooms, so a lot of people do drive in or stay in properties outside of Bardstown or Nelson County. So our impact really stretches beyond Bardstown. A lot of the hotels here in Lexington or in Louisville or E-Town also fill up. So you think about those visitors, and when they come in, they stay in hotels, they rent cars, or they drive in, they stop for gas, they might stop for a bite to eat, all kinds of ways that these visitors make an impact. And that doesn't even begin to touch on the fabulous shops that exist in downtown Bardstown that are a great draw for our tourists and our guests and our residents as well.
And share with us, you're telling me about, this is your 4th year involved with planning the ins and outs of the big festival, but this is not the first year, or this is the 20th year or so of?
28 years we've been doing
years.
this. You know, when it started, it was one event. It was one dinner on a golf course, one evening. And now we run Wednesday through Sunday. We have over 40 events. As I said, some are ticketed, some are free. But it's amazing to me how this celebration has grown right in line with the bourbon industry itself.
And the feedback you hear from people, all positive about this festival?
Well, we're very lucky because our guests are very vocal. If they don't like something, they'll tell us about it, and we do our best to correct that infraction. But by and large, our guests are great. They're huge fans. As I said, we have people from around the world that are regular visitors. We have some from the States that are regular visitors, and they travel not just during the festival, but other times during the year, just to stop in and see us when they're out on the Bourbon Trail or visiting some of Kentucky's other historic properties and attractions.
And what are the dates for this year's big festival?
September 12th through the 16th. All the information can be found on our website, which is kybourbonfestival.com. All our ticket information is there, and as we release more information, it'll all be housed right there.
Hey, thanks so much, Jill, for joining us and talking about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, something that you were fully involved with planning, and we appreciate you joining us on In Focus Kentucky.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, coming up, we travel back to Bardstown, Kentucky to visit the historical Oscar Getz Whiskey Museum. Stay with us. You're watching In Focus Kentucky.